What's up, guys? Chasing Lamely here with episode 122 of Welcome to Wroxham. And in a change to our regular scheduled programme, we're doing a transfer special in January because a lot of people have gone and we've made some good signings. We've broken our transfer record, as you probably know if you saw the title, which I'd probably mentioned the transfer record in possibly. Anyway, like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you after the intro and I'll talk you through who's gone and who's come. So we'll start by discussing the Yachtsmen, and Rodrigo Bentancur has left us. He had a big season for us last year. He's filled in a little bit this season. We've spent $3.5 million on him, but we've had 32 league games out of him. As I said, he's dropped out of favour this season. So when Benfica offered me 1.5 million for him, and it's going to rise to 1.9 with some add-ons that are in there as well, I kind of had to take the money because he's only getting worse. I say worse. He's degrading as he gets older. He's 35 years old. It was time to let him go. So he was the first man to leave, but by no means the last. Following him out the door was Tyreek Levy, who has joined Sunderland. He's not really played the last couple of seasons for us, or the last season for us. He hasn't played at all this season. We got £475,000 for a go we got on a free after being released by Manchester City. He played 3 times for us last season. As I said, not at all this year. Was an ever-present for us in the Championship promotion season with a lot of goals and assists, but he never really looked like a Premier League player. So Sunderland came in, offered 475k for him, and it freed up some space in the squad, freed up some wage budget, so we've taken it. Now, a player we didn't really get to see was Noritaka Abe. He didn't really develop the way I hoped he would after we signed him from Spurs. So when Reading came in and said, here's 90k, we signed him for 8k, it was a no-brainer. He was never going to get in our team. He's been playing a lot of National League football for Barnet in the last season or so, and he was doing well there, but he didn't come back ready to get in our first team or even look like he might ever be ready for our first team. So we've let him go, and Reading have paid us some money, and we're going to enjoy that because we've reinvested it very, very well. Now, not a sale, but a loan. Ronnie Stutter has joined Brighton on loan for the rest of the season. He was not getting in our first team right now, despite being a club legend. He wasn't getting in our team right now. Brighton said, we'll pay you £22,000 to loan him for the rest of the season. Hopefully, he'll go to the Championship, play some good football. He's had 3 sub-appearances and scored a goal already. I want to sort of kind of re-find his form and then come back to us. So hopefully, that'll be what we get out of him. We'll see what kind of player he comes back to us as in the summer. Now, our first big money sale was Luis Mesa, who was the Paraguayan international that we picked up from Deportivo Capiata as a youngster. He's 24 years old now. His development cycle wasn't going well. He had a season on loan at Rotherham in the Championship where he looked decent, but again came back not looking like he was developing much. So Neem came in with 5.25 million. We signed him for nothing, and again we'll let him walk out the door. If he becomes a good player down the line, I've put a buyback clause in his deal, but I don't think I'll be activating it, to be honest. So we'll see him down the road maybe. Another player we signed with high hopes was Ivan Estesh. He has played a few games for us, but spent last season on loan at Barnsley. Again, he was never going to be our first choice anyway. He was signed as a backup when I signed him, to be fair to the other Paraguayan international we had in the squad. He was signed as a backup to Ahmed Gamar, who is not currently playing much either. We spent 750k on him. We loaned him out to Barnsley for a year. He looked okay. Porto come in with £2 million, and we're going to let him go and see what happens with him. He's just quick. He's just quick, and he's not particularly anything but quick. So Premier League level, you've got to have better technicals than that and better mentals than that. Being quick just won't do it. Another player we signed that didn't develop terribly well was Karim Cainsos, who was the Venezuelan international we picked up from Barca on a free. We sent him out immediately on loan to Real Oviedo. He did okay there. Came back, I had a look at him, and I didn't think it was going to happen for him. So when Shakhtar came in with 5.5 million, it seemed like a good deal. There are some add-ons tacked into that as well. But again, all physicals, no technicals, and it's the Premier League. It's just not going to happen for you. So Hopefully he'll do well in Ukraine, but I don't think we're going to see him again anytime in the future. He's also not prepared to come back and sign for us, or they're not prepared to sign him. Okay, good. Well, we weren't going to sign him back anyway, but Karim Kainsos has left us. Another departure who didn't quite work out for us was Jesus Galisteo, the Spanish youngster. He was a youngster when we signed him from Castilla for nothing. We signed him for 725k. Alaves have come in and offered us £1 million from after we had a successful loan at Swindon last season. Again, the development wasn't there, so we just cashed in, and hopefully something good will come for him. But again, those technicals just didn't develop, so at 25, it was time to say goodbye. And our Paraguayan contingent was yet again diminished. We let Roberto Rojas go. I thought he was a long-term prospect who could turn something, and his development again was not there. It's all in the technicals again for him. He's a championship player who was not developing fast enough to me to take any gambles on. He's 20 years old, could have developed a bit more, but the financials for this were stupid. So we signed up for 1.2 million from Sportivo Loqueño. Had a season at Rennes, and then Young Boys said, "Do you want 18.5 million?" And I went, "Yes, please. Thank you very much," and walked away very happy. Now, another player we signed trying to develop him was Jamba Brandao. He was the English player who I think is also Portuguese or similar. Angolan. I said similar. I was close. Anyway, we've let him go to Middlesbrough. We signed him for a £1.1 million from, was it Spurs? Fulham. We signed him from Fulham for 1.1 million, sent him on loan to Millwall for a year where he was middling at best in League One. Came back, wasn't developing, so when Borough said 2.3, I said yes please, and once again, he went out the door. Now this one was a sale I didn't want to make. Vincent Steinmetz has played a few games for us this season since coming back from his loan at Rangers, but he wasn't happy. Despite the fact I signed him as a squad player, he wasn't happy being our third choice central midfielder, and he was becoming a pain in the arse, to be honest. I really like him, I really wanted to keep him, but he was just becoming a problem in the dressing room. So I paid 6.75. Rangers paid me 1.5 to loan him last season. He played a couple of games this season, did okay for us. And then Bayer Leverkusen said, "Do you want £19 million?" And I figured £19 million was more than enough compensation for the pain he'd become. So we've let him go. And I've signed a replacement, don't you panic. But a bit sad to see him go. I think he could have been a much better player down the line, but I couldn't deal with the drama. Now, more youngsters didn't work out as well were sold. So Chini Aguirre, the Spaniard I signed from Barcelona, somehow I signed him from West Ham. He was at Barcelona before West Ham. He played twice for us in the Championship and didn't impress me. I spent 725k on him and then loaned him out to the National League, where he was also pretty rubbish, to be fair. Then Las Palmas said 300k to take him off your hands. 24 years old, not developing, no-brainer. Said goodbye. And it was a similar but not quite the same situation for Derek Kavanagh. I signed him on a free because he was said to have high potential. He was already 24, I believe, when I signed him. It didn't go well. I paid nothing for him, loaned out to Plymouth in the Championship, where he played a few cup games but nothing else. They obviously weren't impressed with the 4.2k they spent on a player who was too lazy to develop at all. And Forest Green have now made the mistake of giving me 300k for him, and he's not going to develop at all. So enjoy your wasted money, Forest Green. Enjoy. Now let's get back to some real money. Judson Sabella's left us for £8.25 million to join Watford. He was our fourth choice striker. He's 29, and I wanted him to be able to go play some football. I made a little bit of a profit on him. Played 8 games for us, and he's made me 2.75 million in profit. It's not too bad, and he deserves to be playing. I signed him from Bristol City because he was great against us. He wasn't great for us. I think the Championship's his level, so hopefully he'll go to Watford. He'll have a good little Championship career to wrap up. Well, a good little Championship to wrap up his career. But yeah, he wasn't going to do the job for us. So you could argue I didn't give him a chance, but he didn't break into the first team, and when he did get chances, he didn't make the best of them. So we'll take the money. Now this one was more a case of we just had too many young goalkeepers in the squad, to be honest. Mirko Ziegelmeier was the German under 21 international we signed from Bayern Munich, and he probably will turn into a decent Premier League goalkeeper down the line. but I don't think his upside is as good as the goalkeepers we have in the squad. So I signed him for 375k. He had a good loan out at, I say a good loan, he had an awful loan out in the Ryman League at Hornchurch. And then Burnley offered me 3.5 million for him. I said, 10 times what we spent on him. Seems like I didn't have to think too much about that. Like I said, I think he will actually go on to become a decent Championship / lower Premier League goalkeeper. But he was never going to be our first choice, so I just took the money now, and maybe we'll come across him again down the line. Raul Horner was another big sale. 2 young boys as well, actually. He's a Peruvian, not a Paraguayan, though, so, slightly different record. And again, it was his technicals were not developing. He's 20 years old. I don't know how much better he's going to get. He has had a weird career. We signed him from Alianza Lima for £925,000. We're in the Championship. Played 1 game for us in the league. Did really well. But he was kind of a backup and was kind of always going to be a backup for us. We sent him back to Alianza Lima. They didn't play him. We sent him out on loan to Wantage in the National League South. He did okay there, but didn't pull up any trees as far as I was concerned. And then Young Boys offered me 18.75 million for him, and I packed his bags and sent him on his way because we've bankrupted Young Boys this January. But frankly, he wasn't looking like a Premier League player, and we're a Premier League club, so it had to be done. And just 2 more sales. Vladimir Shusha was a Serbian that we signed from Kukarici Stankom. Again, sent him out on loan to Wantage because why not? We got him on a free. He did slightly better than Raul Horner did there, but Spezia came with 40k. His contract was ending. He was not developing. I mean, he's 22, and that's the best he can do for technicals and physicals. So it was never going to happen for him. I can't have a 7-pace centre-half / fullback in the Premier League. It's just not going to happen, so I just took what I could get for him and let him go. And the final sale of the January window was Matan Ben Melek, who is an Israeli under-21 international. He's 22 years old now. He was kind of speculatively signed off the back of a good scout report. I paid nothing for him to get him off the... in fact, I signed him as a youngster. He came through off the free transfers on the free transfer list and was recommended to me. So I loaned him out a whole bunch of times to a bunch of clubs, and nowhere was he particularly impressive. I mean, he was good at Accrington, I suppose. He was decent at Colchester in League One, but Wellington Phoenix offered me 130k. I couldn't get a new work permit for him, so yeah, off he goes. But you're not here for the guys out, you're here for the guys in. So let's go meet our 3 shiny new signings. Now, I said I reinvested well, and it won't look like that from signing number 1. A 24-year-old goalkeeper, Raul Diaz, who's kind of come in to be a 3rd choice. From Castilla in Spain, obviously Real Madrid's youth team or B team. I spent 1.4 million on him and saw immediately he was going to be our 3rd choice goalkeeper. So I'll offer him out on loan for a season. West Ham have loaned our 3rd choice goalkeeper, paid me 210k for the privilege, and played him in the Premier League. He kept a clean sheet, to be fair to him, which is a good sign. He's also played in the Cup for them. But it's a bit odd. But either way, we'll keep an eye on him. I think he'll only ever be our 2nd choice goalkeeper at best. But he could just be pure profit. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how that goes. But 2 more to go. Now, I'm not holding back on our new record signing. I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going through these in the order I signed them. But Gustavo Sanchez is a Uruguayan signed from Peñarol. Hasn't been capped by them, which is curious because I think he's a really good player. He's obviously been signed as the replacement for Steinmetz. He is a Masala by trade. He's a left-footed Masala by trade. In fact, if we highlight his Masala stats, you'll see why I've signed him, I think. So he's got that good stamina, or decent stamina, and again, 22, he's still going to get better. Great vision, which I want from a Masala. Lots of chances created, good anticipation, composure, decisions, flair off the ball. Work rate's a bit sketchy, we can develop that. But 17 for technique, again, maybe his tackling his work, we can work on that. Passing, 16, long shots, 15, first touch, 14, finishing, not great, but I expect my Masala to shoot from range anyway. Good dribbling, I think this is a good all-round signing at 22. He's cost me £3.2 million, and I don't think that's ever going to be proven to be a mistake. He's already worth 25. Apparently he's close to his full potential. I'm not too worried by that because I think he's a good long-term squad player. That's really what I've signed him to be, as a good long-term squad player. So hopefully we'll see some good stuff from him. I think he'll come into the side and play well when he comes in, and hopefully won't moan too much when he's not in the team. But you want to meet our new record signing, and actually I say meet our new record signing. Do you remember we've had that run of 4 games against Arsenal last season? There was that one lad who absolutely destroyed us, that I said that I would sign if the opportunity came up. And I looked at making a bid for him, and they wanted 50-something million for him, and it just wasn't going to happen. Well, he got transfer listed for less money than 52 million, and I snapped him up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Ruel Walters, officially a Wroxham player. Like I said, he absolutely battered us when we played against Arsenal last season. Absolutely destroyed us. He can play fullback on both sides. He can play centre-half, but he's not particularly tall, so we'll probably be using him as a fullback like he was playing for Arsenal against us when he absolutely destroyed us. He's played 109 games for Arsenal. He's played 35 for Leeds, 37 for Cardiff, and those are just the league appearances. But he plays as a wing-back. We'll put him on the wing-back attack, which is how we will be using him. It's not quite as good there as he is a defensive wing-back, but hopefully he'll learn. The physicals are all right. The mentals are all exactly what I want, and the technicals, they need work. He's 28. He's not going to develop much. But this lad, go back and watch those episodes. This lad absolutely took us to pieces. He absolutely demolished us like we were a Sunday League side, and he was playing as a right-back. He's had 2 goals in 13 appearances this season already. He's played in both cups, so he is unfortunately cup-tied. But I think his career speaks for itself. A 7.03 average rating this season so far in the Premier League. 7.05 for Arsenal the season before. Just shy of a 7 the season before that. 7.25 the season before that. 7.04 the season before that. Again, just shy of a 7 before that. Just over a 7 before that. Just shy again. Just shy again in the Championship for that. Everywhere he's gone, he has played well. And I think he really could be the last piece of our defence to really bring things together. I'm really happy with him. As you've just seen as well, I've spent £31 million, by far our record signing. With a guy with that much consistency, who we have seen absolutely rip us to shreds, I can't argue with him as a signing at all. I think he's going to be a really big piece of our squad going forward, probably until he retires, to be honest. I'm surprised he's never had an England cap, but their loss, our gain, basically, is what we're saying. And, yeah, but before we go any further, there's no one else to show you, but I want to talk what we're going about. We're not going to come out for the Leicester game, I promise, because we've got a really interesting cup draw to come back to on Friday. So I'll go through the fixture you've missed properly on Friday with the next episode. But there's been some interesting games that have happened. In fact, the Leicester game got moved for this one. Either way, it was fine. We're playing Ipswich Town away, local rivals in the FA Cup 4th round. I thought we'd come back and see that. We can have a nice big game somewhere in here. There'll be Chelsea or United or something. But next time out, we're going to play at Portman Road against Ipswich in the 4th round of the FA Cup, because the FA Cup could still be a route into Europe for us. You never know, but that is essentially how that is going to go. So I'm going to wrap up the episode there, because I'm aware I've been talking for a really long time. So thanks for watching, guys. I have, as always, been Chasing Lately. I shall see you on Friday for that episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave the comments down below. Tell me what you think we'll finish in the table this season. For reference, we are currently in 8th, so things are looking okay. Anyway, guys, as I said, big thank you for watching. I will see you with a proper episode with some proper football on Friday. Until next time, I've been Chasing Lamely. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.